Welcome to the Single Mom Life, powered by Single Mom Network. I am one of your hosts, Stephanie Tiller.
And I am TJ Alvarado.
And I'm Jill Douglas.
The Single Mom Network is an organization that is built to assist and connect single moms all around the world to be able to connect and bridge the gap, bring unity and thrive within their business careers, their livelihood, as well as their day-to-day, everyday goals. Our goal here is to connect those that are looking for resources within their communities, looking for resources on online services as well. So right here at Single Moms Network is where you're going to be able to get many resources that we have available to you.
So today we're going to talk about a topic that many single parents deal with. It is the topic of budgeting and how to budget as a single parent, how to work your finances. When you're a single mom, you may only have one income. You may not even have that sometimes. So, I know, I've had experience with that. Jobs are crazy. You're managing a household, raising your child or children. Yeah. And you still have to bring in money. Right. What have you guys, tell me something that you guys have experienced too, or what you see as the challenge facing single parents these days?
Being a mother of multiple children, there's always expenses that come up. But when everything is going great, how do you safeguard against hardships? And hardships doesn't necessarily mean I can't pay my light bill or my car has an emergency and I have to, get new tires or replace something. I have a son. And he's like, hey, Mom, I want to play football. And anybody that puts their kids in sports knows that's not cheap. You try to get sponsors, you borrow old uniforms. It's really hard. So you can do your best, and pick up a second job. But how do you safeguard against those unexpected things?
Yes, it's they're the practical things, right? Yeah. Like food and bills and things. But then there's the extra, of your children's wants and desires. And then there's the emergencies.
Yes.
For me, I think it's time. Time is money. So there's not enough hours in a day to be able to work one job, let alone two jobs, or even a side hustle sometimes, and still be able to, properly parent multiple children. I'm not saying that it can't be done. You obviously have done it. My mom done it. Her mom done it. We've seen that. But it's so hard nowadays with the expenses and the livelihood here in the world today are going up, but the pay is staying the same. Yeah. So that's when I say time is money, and it's not enough money, but it's a whole lot of time being spent away from family, away from a lot of different necessities. So I can't wait to ask that question.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is great. So obviously a topic that a lot of people deal with. So Nicky Woodburn is here with us from Financial Education Services. And Nicky, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to hear from you. And just first, I'd love to hear your experience as a single parent dealing with budget and money, and then what your organization is all about.
Okay, so first, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Yes. And my organization is Financial Education Services, and it is what it is, Financial Education Services.
The name says it all.
The name says it all.
Management.
Exactly. So America on a whole has a problem with money, okay? Mm-hmm. We're in debt almost $250,000. And that's the average debt.
Wow.
So for a person, average debt.
One person.
I feel better.
Right, yeah, that's the average debt. Because if you think about it, your home, a nice home would be how much? Maybe 180, 200. True. Then a car, not necessarily a nice car, but a car that you can drive to.
One way over there.
Right, and have it not break down, right?
Yeah.
And then you have all these other expenses so the company educates us on how to manage your money, which leads to having better credit. So that's the foundation of the company, right? Because almost 70 million people in America with less than perfect credit. It starts with how you manage your money. Mm-hmm. My experience as a single mom, learning to budget, it was hard.
Give us an example. Give us an example of something that you had to deal with.
Yes.
Because I'm sure a lot of people in our audience like you're in a different space now, but like,
Right.
you know, we've all, each one of us been in the trenches. So wherever you're at, like, you get it. So tell us like one experience that you had, like dealing with being a single mom and budgeting.
Well, it started out having two incomes, right? Because majority of us start out with either a husband or a spouse or a significant other that's helping you with child or children, right? So we had to move from two income to one. And as TJ said earlier about sports, my child was into sports. And it was football. And football, like cheerleading is not cheap. So you had to come up with that money. And then just say, for example, the ex doesn't have a job anymore. Well, what do you do? So putting yourself on a budget and talking about it, letting your child know that I can't do 3 or 4 activities for you this year. I can do 1 or 2.
I love that.
Right?
Getting the child involved and not giving him maybe the whole picture.
Do not give him that false sense that exactly
he needs
him or
to
her.
know.
Exactly.
That's so hard.
Exactly. It is hard.
And we have multiple kids. It's so hard.
It is hard, but it is what you do have to do. It is very necessary. Yeah.
That's awesome. Great. I love that.
Yeah.
Educating people, because really the financial like literacy and education, that is something that you're not always taught in school.
No,
like,
you're not.
I think nowadays some schools actually have like budgeting, but it's very rare. You either learn from your parents or you don't.
Did you have financial education in school?
Trial and error.
Did you?
No, I think we did a cost of living exercise, but I don't think that was till college.
No,
to be quite honest.
They don't teach you.
So it's
High
very
school
different.
maybe,
No,
but
they don't teach you, and that's why we're in debt so much.
So here's my question. So that like is perfect for what I want to ask you, because I think lots of times you keep doing the same things because you have the same story or the same mindset about something, right? And so unless you dig deep and change your mindset about something, it's going to keep showing up the same way, right?
Exactly.
And when you don't have a lot of finances, you don't have a lot of money, it can be hard to be like, is this ever going to be different?
Exactly.
So what would you say, like, how do you go about even starting there? Like, how do you change your mindset when there's not a lot?
You just do it. I mean, think about it.
There you go.
You know you have a child or children that you have to take care of. You don't have that additional income. You have to feed them. You have to pay the bills. You just get up and you just do it. There's no laying around and hoping that money's going to fall from the sky or that a tree's going to grow in the backyard with money. You just do it. You just change your mindset and you get it done, because that's what single moms do. We just get things done.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, totally.
That's
and
so true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there are some resources out there, probably like books or classes or you know, and just like your organization, education. But I think that's so key. Like, get yourself into some place where you can plug into the resources available.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's so great. And then, you know, like we kind of talked about, sometimes things come up in life that we don't really expect.
Right.
Maybe it is a divorce and all of a sudden you have a single income, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's your partner who is not your partner now loses a job. Maybe you lose your job.
Right.
Like those hardships. So like, how do you talk a little bit about like the budgeting aspect, but also like how that can help us? I think I have 2 questions, but how do we safeguard against things that come up that are unexpected? And maybe that leads right into budgeting.
Budgeting, yes. So when you're married, of course, you guys have a fund. You have a savings. Hopefully you have a savings. So now you've moved from trying to safeguard against a divorce. You don't get married thinking that you're going to get a divorce.
So do you mean savings? I'm sorry, savings, or is this like emergency savings, like another savings?
I believe you should have 2. You should have an emergency fund, and then you should have a savings.
Okay.
Because what is working, and not being able to go on a vacation? That's your savings.
Yeah, saving
but you
for
don't
something
want
specific.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't want to dip into an emergency fund to go on vacation.
Right.
That's ridiculous, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have that college fund that you're saving for. Some of us have a college fund we're saving for the children. I've had to dip into his college fund a few. Shh, don't tell my child that. But I've had to dip into his college fund a few times.
Yeah.
But if I had a college fund and a savings towards a vacation or something, and then I have an emergency fund, that would safeguard against having to dip into that college fund.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And something that I have found Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay, something that I have found is that when I have a budget and I line out where all my money is going, I honestly don't feel bad at all about spending it in those categories.
Exactly.
There's not worry, there's not stress. It's very clear. I have this much money for this event, and it's like awesome, guilt-free spending.
Guilt-free. You have to have a budget and you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined. If you're trying to lose weight, you have to be disciplined about not eating certain things or not eating after a certain time. If you have a savings goal that's going towards a new car, don't spend it on something else. Make sure that that's what it's for. If you pull cash out and if you pull $200 out and you said that's the only amount of money that you're going to spend until you get paid again, do not go back into your account and pull out another $200.
Right.
You have to be disciplined and stick with your budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you at your company, do they provide like budgeting tools and templates? It's so awesome. I think some people don't even know, like, how do I even set up a budget?
How
What
do
do you mean?
start somebody?
Yes.
Totally, that's awesome.
Every
So great.
client of ours get to sign into their own portal, right?
Okay.
And once you sign in, there is a tab that says budget. There's a video that tells you how to use the budget. Once you've plugged in all your income and your expenses, you can change it because something might have happened in February that didn't happen in January, and I have to go back and change it. Right? And also, we might have spent money somewhere where we shouldn't have spent it.
Yeah.
So go back and revisit that and say, hey, where is my money leaking to? Where can I change? Am I spending too much money eating out?
Right.
Do I need to cut back?
Even just paying attention, right? Clarity, seeing where it's going to begin with.
Exactly.
You probably don't always know.
Exactly.
One quick question too, and it's not necessarily simple, but like, what about when your expenses outweigh your income? Like, how do you set yourself up for that within a budget or?
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Write it down. You have to document all of your spending, all of your purchases, so that you know where your money's going.
Yes.
Money's coming out of your checking account, you need to know where it's going because it's easy for you to lose track of it.
Absolutely.
But when you know where your money is going, you can safeguard, you can change it and edit it just a little bit so that the next time you know, okay, I spent money here when I shouldn't have. Let me now save this money and put it towards a bill or a savings or a debt.
Absolutely, right?
Yes.
It's there because you see
Have
it
to
and
document
you know.
it.
That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know this is really the tip of the iceberg, but you've helped us just to start bringing awareness and clarity, like to get clear with what is actually what's coming in, what's going out.
Yes.
And then, I recommend going to her website and checking out all the services offered. And, there are apps these days and there are a lot of resources now for doing budgets and checking on your money. So, thank you so much for giving us this exciting look at, how you can really get control and empower yourself around your finances. So before we go, we want to give you each a tip, something that, you can really take away with you tonight or today. So Nicky, why don't you start us off with what is one tip you would say if they're going to tell them one thing, what would it be?
Be realistic about your budget. Money coming in and money going out. If you're very realistic about your numbers, it'll be easy for you to keep track.
I have one. I think it's a fantastic idea once you get clarity on what you have. Set up an automatic system. Like set up that your savings just gets taken out. You don't even see it. It goes into an account and you don't even, because then you only have the money. If it's left in your own hands, let's face it, who has money at the end of the month?
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So set it up automatically. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
And it's growing.
Yes.
Mine would be to get more financial help. If you don't understand budgeting, and I struggle with it because I'm stubborn, not because I don't know. But to get more serious about it, I would say definitely there are self-help books. There are individuals like Nicky. You can go to her website, get the financial education that you need in order to succeed, because it's not fun being broke or cute.
No.
That's right. Yeah. And my motivational tip for all of us, just as Nicky emphasized, your savings account is not your emergency account, nor is it your vacation account. So my tip, and we talked about this when we were offline, is to teach your children that money is a tool.
Yeah.
Money doesn't make the person. plan with your child for that trip for the summer. School has just begun, but pretty soon we'll be getting into spring break, and then it's what about that summer trip? Budget with your child for a trip together, because memories are more valuable and will last forever, as opposed to striving for a material thing.
Right.
So this is something that you can share together. You can teach financial responsibility, as well as delaying gratification and getting that real pleasure in learning how to wait and plan for that thing. And they appreciate it so much more.
Absolutely.
Right?
You better
Yeah,
preach, teacher.
I love my trips. I love my trips. We got a plan.
It's a good plan for it.
Well, it's been wonderful, Nikki, to have
Thank you.
and tell us
Thank
about the
you.
financial advice. We are
Absolutely.
very happy that you could join us for this episode of The Single Mom Life, which is powered by the Single Mom Network. We encourage you to go visit our website, like our Facebook page, and find us on Instagram. You can get all these helpful tips and more about our next broadcast. Remember to come and tune in, tell all your friends about it all around the world, because this is The Single Mom Life, where dreams meet opportunity. We will see you next time. Ciao.